Hey everyone, welcome back to Tuesdays with Theodore on Ambiguity Guys. This week we are talking about what our biggest personal struggle has been, kind of regarding our gender and learning about it. And so first of all, figuring out my gender has been a big struggle personally because my gender is so fluid that there's been a few points in my life where I've felt like a boy for a very long time, and then it shifts and I'm mostly or fully female for a while, and then it's like, oh, I guess I was like making that up, or it was just a phase or something. So that really confused me a lot when I was younger, and it wasn't until like grade 10, grade 9, grade 10 that I was learning more about gender, and I was understanding gender fluidity. And really that was just a lack of education and understanding about gender. So it did cause me a lot of confusion. It didn't really cause me any like turmoil, is that the right word? So that was just kind of like a lack of education. It just really confused me when I was younger, but as I learned more about gender, I understood it more, and I realized that that was what my gender was, and it was just changing, and it just was not always constant, and that was totally normal. The biggest personal struggle for me in terms of my gender has definitely been validating and legitimatizing my gender, because the fact that I present so feminine and that I don't really try and pass at all, it's been a real struggle for me, because I remember even like just last summer I met a new friend, and she asked my pronouns, and I told her I was using he, him pronouns because those were the pronouns that I was using at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, how can she take me seriously if I say I use he, him pronouns, but here I am not binding, wearing a crop top and high-waisted shorts, and I have makeup on. So the next time that we hung out, I made a conscious effort to dress a lot more masculine. I wouldn't do that now because I have a much stronger grasp on gender versus gender expression, and I'm a lot more secure in myself and my gender. I wouldn't worry about people not taking my gender as seriously because of the way that I look, and I wouldn't consciously make an effort to try and change it in hopes of getting them to take my gender seriously is what I'm trying to say. And that actually didn't pose a problem for me for a little while, because when the first few months that I was out, I was experiencing a lot of dysphoria, and I was binding all the time, and I was dressing a lot more masculine than I do now. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is that the first little while that I was out and I was kind of beginning to learn more about gender, because when I first came out I was really clueless about gender. I honestly did not know very much about non-binary genders versus binary. So again, for the first little while that I was out and I was starting to figure out my gender, it wasn't an issue for me because I was presenting masculine for the most part. And then when I started presenting more feminine, more consistently, I felt like my gender wasn't valid and it wasn't real, and I felt like I was being really selfish that I was presenting a certain way, but I still expected people to refer to me using certain terms and certain pronouns, because I was like, well, how can I expect people to think of me as a boy when I look like a girl? So it's been quite a tough journey trying to unlearn that and trying to teach myself that it doesn't matter what I look like, it doesn't matter what clothes I'm wearing or what shit I've put on my face, that my gender is still real and valid, and that's fine. I'm a lot more secure in myself and my gender, and I have a much stronger understanding of gender and gender expression, and how the two don't mean the same thing. Obviously I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm going to be leaps and bounds ahead of where I am now in a year and in 2 years, etc., etc. But as far as I've gone in my gender journey, that's been really the biggest issue for me. The biggest struggle is trying to overcome the insecurity that my gender isn't valid and my gender isn't real, and people aren't going to take me seriously because of the way that I dress and the way that I like to present. And just to reiterate that it's fine if you want to wear whatever clothes, whatever accessories or anything, however you want to present, and that doesn't negate anything from your gender at all. And if you would like to share what your biggest struggle has been in the comments below, I would love to read what you guys have to say. So I hope you have a really great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!